Disney's battle for China bucks. This is a Hollywood tale of epic proportions that was a move to make and take the glitz and glamour of American cinema to the Great Wall of China. And this raucous romp would only bring the success of the ages, right? Well, today, let me act as your cinematic Sherpa, leading you from the dizzying heights of Disney from 2019 to the depths of Mickey's ultimate despair. So let's dive deep into the not-so-curious case of Hollywood's struggle to make it big in the land of dragons and dumplings. And, of course, ultimately, it could only end in one way. Spoiler alert, Mickey Mouse didn't make the moolah. Let's plunge headlong into some more dismal Disney news, folks, because it seems like that's kind of what I do here. And with that taste of what's to come, here we go! So here's our staple, folks, our bread and butter, the meat and potatoes of the cultural collapse. We're going to talk Disney. It's the behemoth of dreams and childhood magic, leading now to something quite tragic. CEO Bob Iger, in his quest for global cinematic dominance, looked to the east and danced with dragons to get Beijing's approval for everything from a soon-to-be confiscated theme park or two to the woke cinematic wonders like The Little Mermaid and Elemental. And the results, well, all that maneuvering will prove disastrous in time. One of those things has already found complete disaster already. A spectacular nosedive at the Chinese box office. You see, Mickey didn't speak Mandarin, let alone any language of universal entertainment. It did seem to make a now famous idiom even more true, however. Go woke, go broke. Now, the mouse wasn't the only one to get soused on a late-night bender and find that global appeal is fleeting when you're pushing the great lie of the message. Yeah, Warner Bros thought that Barbie's global appeal would transcend cultural borders, bringing the new Enlightenment age of man-hating to everybody. Wrong move, of course. The iconic doll stumbled harder than a former male model in high heels and a tight skirt on the cobblestones of the Great Wall. You see, China said no gracias to Barbie, and that left a lot of Hollywood scratching their heads in disappointment, especially with a $35 million return in receipts and a messy $5 million take-home at most. And that's from the second most populous country in the world. It turns out even plastic dolls have cultural visa issues widely rejected upon arrival. Now, while Disney was nursing their gaping wounds and Warner Brothers were evaluating theirs, China was cheering for its homegrown heroes. It turns out they did to Hollywood what they've done to every other industry. They brought them in to steal all their best stuff and try to replicate it themselves. Now, and you know what? When it comes to propaganda in cinema, China has no equal. Zhang Yimou's Full River Red and the sci-fi sensation The Wandering Earth 2 took the box office crown in China. No More Bets, Lost in the Stars, and Never Say Never showed Hollywood that China has its own recipe for blockbuster success, at least in China anyway. Now, Grant, could you cue the celebratory dragon-themed confetti? Okay? No? Well, any confetti will do. How about some fireworks or something? Really? Make it a big deal. You know, yeah. All right, let's get serious here. It's not just about the box office battles. It's just a different type of geopolitical showdown. The Communist Party of China has been actively rooting for Hollywood to bite the dust. They were buoyed by reports like the one that came out from the Global Times. They predicted a total collapse of the box office, like what's happening now, citing Hollywood's repetitive plots and the modern audience dated American values. Well, those modern audience ideas, those aren't American values. So Hollywood, you're not just losing the box office, you're actually losing the propaganda war. Even the commies think that woke intersectional dogma is a loser. So, well done. Speaking of losers, once upon a time, Disney was the conjurer of cinematic spells. They were capable of creative, engaging storytelling, believable fictions that spoke from a place of real-world, widespread lived experiences in the reality of almost everyone who consumed them. What happened? Well, Enter Bob Iger, the wizard behind the curtain. Warm relations with the CCP were the magic wand Hollywood hoped for. They would hope it would open Chinese doors, and it did so in a way. But while the overtures were made and the money was spent, no one in the room asked the most important question. The one that, Dr. Ian Malcolm asks in Jurassic Park to such effect. Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. So, to be direct in regard to such wisdom, the enchantment of the modern audience, Hollywood, is wearing off. I mean, even Avatar, The Way of Water, couldn't replicate the magic of its predecessor over there. And the same could be said for the Fast and the Furious films. And for Disney, China's Dragon's Breath has cooled off considerably. I reckon that their theme parks are only protected by a large movement and large investment of other companies that have, already existed in China. And yet those ties are beginning to unwind. And those very same companies that are sort of protecting each other are looking to India and elsewhere for a cheaper labor market. And with those financial ties leaving, how long will Disney be protected? I guess that's a question for another video on another day, but it is a good one. So, as the curtain falls on Hollywood's China conundrum, the message is quite clear. American blockbusters are facing a Great Wall in China once more, and it's not coming down anytime soon. So whether it's superheroes or singing mermaids, Hollywood needs a new script for The Dragon's Den and increasingly for the balance of the world, including right here in the US of A. Their universal appeal has failed them, driven by the religion of woke. In the case of China, perhaps a bit of local flavor could spice up the cinematic recipe over there, at least if it's not chock full of the messaging garbage that is being so soundly and roundly rejected. The dragon is spoken, and so is most of the world. So Hollywood, it's time to adapt or risk being left behind in the smog of box office defeat. And therefore, viewer, is where I leave you for now. It is your turn. Let me know your thoughts on Hollywood's China problem down below. Or should I say, entertainment problem, because it's much broader. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time. Oh, and for some more coverage on this particular subject, please check out WDW Pro and That Park Place, because I think you're going to find that on the website and on the video channels, they've got their own unique perspective. See ya!